Hey guys, it is Kayla Waller with Waller Adventures, and today we are in St. Augustine, Florida, and we are going to visit the Fountain of Youth Archaeological site. So stick around and check it out. So a little backstory before we go into the archaeological site. Ponce De Leon came from Spain in search of the Fountain of Youth, and he found it here in St. Augustine, Florida. So we're gonna go visit it. There's a sign if you want to pause the video and read it. So here is like an aerial shot of the Fountain of Youth. We're over here in the parking lot. So it's this whole area. All right, so here we go. Look at the peacock. There's some peacocks over there in the back. Welcome to America's first colony. Here's Ponce De Leon himself. Not really, it's a statue. Hi.
Fountains at the bottom of the stairs there, and then there are cups at the end of the staircase, and that's over dispenser for you.
Thanks, appreciate it.
No problem.
So you can get these bottles in the gift shop. I got one a while back ago when I visited here. Get some cool bottles and plates. Spanish game pieces. Glass beads. Helen Keller and Amelia Earhart visited this site. It's really cool. Ponce De Leon dreaming he has found the Fountain of Youth. That's what the painting is about. So that's Queen Ferdinand and Queen Isabella from Spain. So that is the silver salt cellar. It's a replica. So that cross right there on the ground is the Conklin Cross of 1513. So it measures 15 stones high and 13 stones across. That's what's been unearthed right now. It says that the number of stones seem to indicate the year 1513 when Ponce de Leon came here, which is really cool. You can see the Native Americans and Ponce de Leon and his soldiers. So you can see a little timeline. That's the beginning with the Native Americans here. Then Ponce de Leon, then Pedro, then Mendez, and Sir Francis Drake raids St. Augustine. Then the establishment of the mission of Nombre de Dios. They get our little cups. The Fountain of Youth itself. So basically what this is saying is Ponce de Leon had a 3-ship fleet, and he spotted the coast of what is La Florida. It says the spring water from the Fountain of Youth is from, let's see, it says, the spring water you are tasting is the same water that has risen to the surface of the earth from the Floridian aquifer for millennia. It is filtered only by the layers of limestone through which it passes, and the water probably tastes the same as it did when Ponce de Leon drank it in April of 1513. It says you may notice the odor of sulfur in the water. This odor is harmless and natural. This odor typically of most of North Florida natural spring. You can see the early Native Americans here. It's the Timucua Indians. I'm probably mispronouncing that. but you can see it right there. So they actually lived here 3,000 years before Ponce De Leon came here. But they helped Pedro establish the settlement of St. Augustine. So if you come to the Fountain of Youth and drink the water, which I have drank, that's my 3rd time drinking it, so I am like 3 times going to live longer now, I guess. I don't know. But if you come here, it tastes different. It tastes a little funky, but it's not too bad. So the planetarium that is behind me actually shows the Earth. It's like, I think, the largest Earth that rotates. It's huge. It's really huge. But it shows like the history of St. Augustine and the travel that Ponce De Leon took to get here. Things like that, but I can't film in there. So like I said, I can't film the show itself, but I can go film some of the artifacts in there, so let's go take a look at those. Early wooden house hosted the Ponce De Leon artifacts. Wow. Here's some of the cool artifacts. There's some pottery. I got some buttons. There's 14 pipes. And 2 is some tile. I think that's some monies. Probably a belt buckle back there. There's some more pottery. Wow. That's how they used to navigate. 1715 fleet shipwreck. So they believed that this ship actually had a whole bunch of treasure on it. Pesos, chests, silver, gifts, Chinese porcelain, and copper. Wow. So it says the illiterate sailor could not write down his speed, time, and direction, but he could record these things during his watch at the helm by placing the pegs on the board in the right holes. So this is the Nina. Tell you a little bit about it. It's really cool. It's moving. Check out the axe. Ooh, they had a draw knife. Actually restored a draw knife. It doesn't look like that, but it's close to it. So this is life on a Spanish galleon. That's really cool. So St. Augustine was established in like 1565 or I think like that, but Ponce de Leon was here in 1513 and established the colony that was here. So I mean, it's really cool. Like, this spot is older than Jamestown and Plymouth Rock. Jamestown, which is the oldest town in the Americas, was in 1607. So I mean, it's been a while. That's a long period of time. So I got the information wrong. The planetarium is a planetarium. This Discovery Globe Theater is where they have that big Earth, where you can look at it and see the travels that all these explorers took and things like that. This place marks the site of an ancient Indian village in the 16th century. Archaeologists, I can't speak this morning, believe after making excavations on the ground that Indians had lived on this site for centuries before Ponce de Leon landed here in 1513. That anchor back there is pretty big. So these large clay jars were placed around like homes and things like that, and it would collect rainwater. So here's a little bit of a timeline. It's when the Native Americans were here. And you come over, and Ponce de Leon, he was born in 1460 in the village of San Servais in the province of Campos in northern Spain. So that's what the village looked like. So in 1565, Pedro Mendez came over, but he actually established St. Augustine as a city with the help of the Native Americans that were here. It's so cool to have cannons just sitting around. So this explains the structures of the buildings here, I guess you can say. The older buildings, like the fort, which is, we're going to visit that Castello de San Marcos fort. You can see that it's made of this stuff right here. It's got seashells in it, and it's called coquin. It's really cool, but it's made out of like oyster shells and things like that from the sea. As we're going on adventures in St. Augustine, check out the buildings and you'll see that they're made out of that stuff. It's really cool. So, a Christian Indian burial ground.
You are looking at the first Christian Indian burial grounds in the United States.
Just like I said.
On April 13th, 1934, while planting orange trees, a gardener accidentally came upon the first skeleton.
So that's what it looked like when they uncovered it with all the bones in it. So I couldn't talk because the, guy was talking above me. But that was the first Indian burial ground, Christian Indian burial ground. Indians around here were not Christian of, Christian faith. So when the Spanish came over, they brought Christianity with them and taught it to the Native Americans, and that was the first burial ground for them. Construction of the fortified towns among the Floridians. Cool. Mode of tilling and planting. Mode of drying fish, wild animals, and other provisions. So this is talking about the life in the village. Shows you the tools and crafts and hunting and gathering. So what did they look like? It was really cool. Before Ponce De Leon came here, this village was here. And when he came up in his ship, basically, they were here and he met them. So this first part of the Fountain of Youth archaeological site shows the life of the Native Americans that were here. So these are the houses that they lived in. So they have their fire pit here, and the top would let the smoke go out. Also, fun fact, you can see behind me, it is really low. I had to duck under to get in here. The reason for that is because it shows respect. As you're bowing, instead of coming in and bowing, you're bowing and walking in at the same time. Cool little bench. Got a whole bunch of stuff. I got a net. Check out that alligator. Got the skull and the skin. But yeah, as you can, I got to duck down to get under. So this is a dugout canoe. How they would do it is they would get the trunk of a tree like that one back there, and they would carve it out, and then for the inside you can see it's burnt. They would burn the inside and then scrape, burn the inside, scrape, things like that. Turtle shell. Got some black-tip shark jaws. Got raccoon, bobcat, beaver, and gator jaws. The peacocks are talking. Cool. Got a deer hide. Deer hide. Is that a rawhide? They're fishing nets. That's really cool. Some other small animals. Yeah, I got a fire pit going. That's their grill. Nuts and sunflower seeds and shells. So that whole section behind me is about the Native Americans that lived here. So once you go around, it'll start talking more about the establishment that was here of the Spanish and everybody like that. So there is a totem pole of an owl. It says the owls are very prominent figures in the myths and religion of pre-Columbian Florida natives. The predator bird was guarded as the night spirit, messenger and protector of the shaman priests. So I want to pan. It might be a little windy. This whole area right here is the establishment. So the reason why it's like this is because it's still an active archaeological site. They don't want to put anything on here. They do have examples of the structures, but they're still, I think, digging up things here. So they don't want to put anything on this.
Well, right now I'm in the process of making a hairpin.
Ah.
I'm splitting metal at the top so that I can then form it in the shape of a heart.
Awesome.
So I've got a little cutting board here and a chisel so that I don't end up chiseling onto my anvil.
Awesome.
Using a somewhat larger hammer than I usually use for smithing, just got to get the weight down behind it.
Nice. So the structures that you see out here are kind of like examples of what was here. They did archaeological digging here and found out what it was, and then they built the example, quote unquote example, on top so you can see what it was. So I love St. Augustine. It reminds me of like a Spanish Beaufort, North Carolina. It's really cool. I do have sunglasses. I can put them on so I can see something. St. Augustine's workboat. So that's a picture of the remains of the Spanish boat. Got the oars on this side. Yeah. So they used boats like this to go out and do like whaling and mess and things like that. Haul on the 3 ropes and raise each barrel to the same height. Oh, this is showing the different ratios. The one there's 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 4 to 1. Let's try it out. I can't even lift that one. 60 pounds, that ain't work out. But this one's a little easier. That was a lot better. Look at that anchor. It's a nice anchor. Let's see what the thing says. It says site of the first Fort San Juan de Peños, built by Pedro Mendez de Alves in 1565. Destroyed 21 years later by Sir Francis Drake, 1586. The first muster of militiamen in the continental United States occurred on this site on September 16th, 1565. See all the old cannons. Wow. 17th, 18th century cannons. It's really cool. These cannons were recovered from the various locations in Florida and the Caribbean by wreck salvage operators. Centennials of the Spanish coast. We're gonna go up there and look. Yeah. And bridge over there. So when Ponce De Leon came in to port, came in from the Atlantic Ocean, which is straight ahead, this is what he saw coming in at a bridge right here, or pier. I'm out of breath, I can't talk. I'm out of shape. Last time I was here, these 3 were not outlined. I don't think that one was here either. I know those back there were here. But like I said, they're doing more digs and things out here. Ooh. You heard that is the gun demonstration. So they do a lot of demonstrations out here. The gun one that you just heard, the cannon one, and then they got the blacksmith one that y'all saw. And so here's a little more detail. So this is continuing archaeology, 2015 dig, site B. So they're still doing digs out here, which is really cool. You can see some of the stuff they found. You can see the where it talks about the small soil discolorations and changes in soil type can indicate a great deal. It is thought that the small circular features represented post. If so, the structure is most likely a large Native American building. I'm not even going to try to pronounce their name. I'm going to mess it up, and I don't want to mess it up for them. Alright, so this little bit is talking about Ponce De Leon's life. It says 500 years ago, a fleet of 3 small Spanish ships sighted the east coast of Florida on the 27th of March, 1513. They sailed along the coast to the north for a number of days and finally landed on the 3rd of April, naming the new land La Florida. So all this was La Florida at one point in time. So this is a statue of him, for him. So since there is so much happening here, so much stuff, I'll make a timeline and put it at the end of the video so you can kind of get a better understanding of the events that happened here. So this shows more of the Spanish buildings that were here, that were on top of the Native American village that was here. So this is what the church would have looked like. The Catholic Church. I rephrase that, it's the Catholic Church. Oh, there. The priest's stuff back there in the back. Chair. So that is a 1770s British anchor. Let me go around the side so you can see. Yeah. So this is a copper cauldron made in the late 1500s. It says copper cauldrons such as this had a wide variety of uses in the Spain's New World colonies. The rounded bottom indicated that this cauldron may have been used at a shore station in the making of whale oil, as most cauldrons on board ships had flat bottoms. So there is a lot going on here. A lot. Which is really cool. It keeps the history alive. But we're going to go to the gift shop now. See what they got. Alright. Painting up there. Screaming peacock, coffee, of course. You get a lot of cool Fountain of Youth merch. So you can get your own Fountain of Youth water with your name on it. You can get your own bottle of the water from the Fountain of Youth. You can get one as a necklace. So thanks for coming along with me on my trip to the Ponce De Leon Fountain of Youth Archaeological site. This is a lot of history here, like a ton of history. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel and hit that bell icon to get notified when we drop videos like this one. Also check us out on Facebook and Instagram. And on our Facebook page, we have a shop where you can get the Beast Box from Rogue Magnetics and the entry and cookbook. Also, in the description below, there is a link to our bigger shop where you can get Wild Adventures merch. And I'll put a link to the Fountain of Youth website so you can check out more stuff they have going on. So thanks for watching. See you soon.